Assalamu alaikum everyone, and today we are going to talk about the fear of rejection. Not rejection, the fear of rejection. Okay. First of all, what is rejection? You do something, then you approach the client or you approach someone for basically buying your artwork. Okay. And then they say no. That is rejection. Fear of rejection is that you don't want to get into this feeling. You just want to avoid it. The biggest problem with that is it will stifle your growth. It will stifle your creativity. It will stop you from creating anything. Now, we live in a world which is very fast paced. Okay, so there are Instagram likes. If somebody doesn't like your artwork, if this YouTube video does not get enough followers or subscribers or comments, then there is this thing of, rejection. And when you are making the next video, you fear something, all right? That is the fear of rejection. It comes from social media handles, your thing about approval by other people, from client, and specifically in our world of creative professionals, it comes from managers and clients a lot. And the word that they use for this thing is called changes. Okay, changes has come from for the creative or the reel or the audio is not good enough or this is not good enough. See, people, we live in a fast-paced world. All right. In the olden times, what used to happen is you used to have amazing editors or amazing agents who used to understand the artist, used to understand the creative flow. All right. For advertisement, there used to be big firms which used to have editor, the people who used to handle the creative people. And I don't know if they did a very amazing job or not, but now the managers that handle you as a creative person, specifically in jobs, specifically, all right, they are not artists themselves. So the decisions that they give you is based on their thought process. For example, if I ask you, what is your favorite color? Some of you might say blue, all right. Some of you might say red, beige, cream, navy blue, pink, orange, all right. For every person, their own color is the best in the world, all right. But what is exactly the best color that is needed for a creative, needed for a design, they cannot understand that. So you cannot change the manager for sure. And if you have responsibilities, you cannot change the job as well. So we will come to something called the serenity prayer. All right. It goes something like this. God, Ya Allah, give me the serenity to change, to accept the things that I cannot change. Change the things that I can. Give me the courage to change the things that I can. And the wisdom to know the difference between both. All right. So this video is basically about that, knowing the difference and then looking at what we can do and what we cannot do. So the first thing, the serenity, all right? We cannot change the manager. We cannot change the job. The perception though will change, all right? I know you're an artist, okay? And our work is emotional. So everything, every time it gets rejected, we actually feel bad here, If somebody says 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 and you answered 3 and you don't get it right, it does not hurt you that much. But when you work something out, when you make a painting, when you write a poem, when you shoot something, all right, when you made a reel, and somebody tells you this thing is not good enough, you have put your soul into it and it hurts. That is the main problem, right? Or maybe that is the basic understanding. Now, because of that feeling, we obviously cannot change the manager or change the job. But let's just say, let me give you a scenario. Banksy, okay, the famous graffiti artist, his painting was on sale on a footpath, all right? And people rejected it also. There was a lady who bought it, and then it was later discovered that this painting was by Banksy, and it was valued at around $500,000. Okay. That person looked at art, appreciated art and bought it. If you take a painting, okay, to your manager or to a client that is by M.F. Hussain, they might still reject it. If it is by Pablo Picasso, Vincent van Gogh, they'll still reject it. Okay. I'll tell you why. They'll reject it because they are not rejecting you. All right. It is not a rejection of you. It is an approval of their own self. That is the first thing that we need to understand. So for example, I had an instance where I had a manager and I made a creative and she was like, add dotted lines there. So I added the lines there. Okay. The next day, the same creative again went for approval. Now the manager says, remove the dotted lines. And I said, you asked me to add those dotted lines, right? And then she says, okay, I said that, then keep it. And then I asked her a simple question, which design university did you graduate from? And in a lot of instances, you cannot ask that question. So what do? This same person will not go to Banksy or M.F. Hussain or Pablo Picasso, right? So either you basically struggle in this zone or you become big. So getting big, becoming bigger, becoming a great artist is the only way out. One thing. Not only way out, but yes, it is a way out. It is the ultimate way out because then there will be less rejections. Okay, we can see that from the world we live in. The second thing is, when we look at what we can do, the first thing is, because it is not a rejection of your own self, it is their approval of their own idea. Your art is not related to your self-worth, but your work is related to your self-worth. So the first thing that we do is we start something that we like, start a personal project. I remember if you go into my YouTube videos, before this, and maybe 6 months before this, there are painting videos that I used to do. Those paintings were made, my shift used to be 9 o'clock. I used to make them at 7:30 or 8, Because when you do that, you feel that you have created something. Art is rebellion. It is a kind of rebellion. When you do it, you feel I have created something for myself. Now let's go under the bus and live for money. That is basically it. So at least in a day, you feel you have created something for your own self, something for your soul. That is the first thing. That is the first thing you can do. Take a personal project, work on it. Is that art is not your life. Your life is your friends, your family, the world you live in. And one of the things that I stumbled upon is when I started freelancing as a photographer, I realized that only I had changed my path from being an accountant to an artist, a photographer. The rest of the world was the same. So the negotiations were the same. The delays in the payment was the same. The people, asserting their authority was the same. Everything was the same. And so is your life. Your parents are there. Your family is there. A lot is there to live. You need to live that also. So that whatever problems you go through, you have a mechanism to get out of it. The job of art is slowly becoming more and more corporate-ish. So it is not harmful to use some of their own techniques. What do they find peace in? One more thing on the topic of when you basically have a community, alright? I have almost repeated in every of my video that you need someone to work with, but here it is more important than anything else. When you have someone in your life that you can work with, you can share the pain with, let's just say that you have to cover a journey from here to somewhere that you totally hate, and that is going to be your day, alright, full of fear of rejection, fear of changes. But if you have to cover that journey, if somebody nice comes along, the journey becomes a little easy, right? For that, if you have a superior, if you have somebody you can work with, you can collaborate with, I'm not talking about someone to talk with, I'm talking about someone to work with. Then it takes your hand or it takes your brain off the hatred of why won't this design work, and then it goes into, let's try this. I had a superior who, when we used to work, she used to say, and she was my superior, So she had all the authority in the world to tell me, Sarsha, take this and use this. And you know what she used to do? She used to say, will this work? What do you think? Will this work? What do you think? Will this work? What do you think? And I can only hope that you get amazing superiors so that you can work with them. But it is a probability that if you have an artist superior, okay, they'll get you. Our support system is kind of strong. I can say that according to the journey that I have faced. Okay. Now, one more thing. One of the things that brings solace to people is knowing that other people are in the same thing. And with my experience, I can tell you everybody is in the same thing. Because if you look at the memes that artists made, you know, a graphic designer is writing something with a pen, and on the other tip of the pen, the client is writing. So the graphic designer basically becomes a tool, and that is happening to a lot of people nowadays. All right. So you basically are in the same boat, right? Everybody is there. And there is one more thing. People live in way horrible stages of life where they don't like what they do. Okay, and this is the safest example. At least we get to do what we like. I know we are getting to do it in a zone where we don't like to do what we are given, but at least we are doing something that we don't hate. We love the work, we hate the way it is given, but at least we love the work, right? That is one thing to find solace in. People are in horrible stages of life as compared to us. Okay, and it is good. Now the last thing is resilience. Okay, the resilience to keep creating art even in the face of wanting not to do it. Okay, and for that I only have one word, one sentence: keep getting rejected again and again. All right, keep getting rejected until you become something big that they cannot reject, or you leave these people alone and you go into a space where there is nobody to reject you, at least not them, the people who don't understand art or the people who don't get anything from it. Okay, there's one more thing that I forgot. Okay, when we say that we can change the situation, one of the things that have helped me amazingly is to talk to people. Okay, and when I say talk to people, I don't mean the managers. That is a bad idea. Okay, at least is one in my case. Yours can be totally different. But to talk to the client, when you explain the client that, you know, your color that you think is amazingly, this is not actually the best color. All right, sometimes they get it, and sometimes they tell you to take your call, and if it works, you know, then that will make your life easy. You can ask them, do you trust me? Yes, then let me do what I want, you know. And we then work more hard, all right, create more and get better at it. Okay, so yeah, my previous last point, be resilient. And one more thing, all right, with this YouTube video, I'm basically trying to reach the audience that can benefit from it. So if you like the video, all right, I want you to share it in your WhatsApp group of artists so that they can thank you for sharing this video. And if that happens, I'm reaching my target audience. I'm closer to my goal of leaving the people that, you know, can reject me out of the periphery and create a whole world for myself. That is basically the goal. So if you can do that, please, right? And I hope you find a little more peace in this long journey of rejection and fear of rejection. Thank you.